Welcome to September's Fitness and Fuel. This month we are focusing on immune-boosting foods and immune-boosting fitness. The reason I got into nutrition to begin with is from the prevention side. I would like for you to choose, instead of looking at food as a drug for fixing something that may already be occurring, and choose your foods from a side of preventing them. So versus waiting to use your vitamin C to decrease the length of your cold, let's work on trying to prevent getting that cold to begin with.
And on the side of fitness, as a Pilates instructor and a trainer, oftentimes we're working with clients to rehab an injury, and we're going to give you some exercises that are going to help prevent injuries. We still have a challenging circuit for you, but it's core-based and stabilization-based, and that's going to keep you healthy. It's a great way to do some active recovery, pair it with a cardio workout, and we'll show you that next. So we have 4 mini circuits for you, and each circuit is a progression of the one before it. So you're going to go through all 4 exercises. It's 10 reps of everything. If the exercise is bilateral, you're going to do 10 repetitions on each side. So we're starting with our bird dogs. So as you inhale, you're going to extend opposite arm and opposite leg, and as you exhale, pull straight in. So you don't want to cross the elbow to the knee, and you don't want to arch and round the back. You want to keep the pelvis stable and the spine stable to really challenge your core here. Great. And you'll do 10 each side. And then we're going to go down for hip bridges. So the first hip bridge is just plain old hip bridge. She's going to come up into that bridge, and then she's going to hover on the mat. Good, 10 reps of that. And then we're going to go over to the wall, and we have a wall sit with slides. This is a good chest opener, and it really forces you to keep your core stable. Good, inhaling as she's reaching up and exhaling as she's coming down. You want to think about pushing those shins forward and pressing that tailbone back into the wall. Perfect. So for the final exercise in this round, you're going to do a slide lunge to pike. So she's going to reach down here in that high lunge and just use that towel if you're on a hard floor, plate if you're on, or glider if you're on carpet. And you get a great hamstring stretch on the front leg and a hip flexor stretch on that leg that's going back. Great. So for these circuits, there's no need to do a dynamic warm-up because that first circuit is going to warm up your body for the exercises to come.
Here begins our second circuit. You're going to start in a wide stance forearm plank, making sure you're pressing down through those elbows. You are going to crisscross each leg opposite alternating legs, making sure the hips stay nice and stable, not letting that one hip sag down, pulling in through the abdomen, and then inhale to come on the side and exhale to come center. Our second exercise is our hip bridge walkout. So get into your hip bridge position, engage that abdominal floor. You're going to bridge all the way up to the shoulder blades are touching, and then you're just going to alternate walking those feet out, really making sure that you're keeping a lot of the weight into the heels, engaging the hamstrings, alternating those legs, and remember you've got 10 reps, each leg leading. Our next exercise, you're going to take that towel with you. We're back to our wall sits, our progression here, sitting on the wall, against the wall, making sure alignment is from the knees to the ankles, knees to the hips. And you're going to reach up for an extension, making sure that those shoulder blades stay down and hinged, chin parallel to the floor, and of course inhale and exhale, moving through that motion. And keeping your towel, our last exercise in the fourth circuit is our reverse lunge. Making sure you're on a stable surface on that front. If you have that full range of motion to be able to reach all the way down, making sure that knee is staying in line with your ankle, and of course squeezing that glute to power through, back up and core tight.
Okay, for the third set, we have a side plank with a press out. So you're going to be on your elbow, right underneath that shoulder. Make sure you're pressing into the wrist as well. And she pulls the knee in and extends out. Keep that hip lifted. Keep the shoulders stacked. Perfect. You've got 10 each side. And then we're going to go to our hip bridges. This hip bridge is going to have an alternating, we're calling these knee lifts, because you're going to keep the knee bent. So you get into that bridge position. Good, and she's going to alternate bringing those knees in without shifting in the hips, keeping the pelvis nice and stable, using the core, the glutes to stabilize. Perfect. And then we're going to go to our wall sit with our rotation. So we're going to use that towel. Good, come into your wall sit. Again, really make sure you're not only using your quads, but dig those heels into the floor. And then she's going to reach into her rotation, really focusing on keeping the hips even, because the shoulders are going to move, but you want to focus on keeping your core tight and your hips even, 10 each side. And your last exercise is that slide lunge to the side. Good. So she's sending her hip back in space as she slides that leg out. So here, really lots of core to pull yourself back up. Make sure you don't pronate on that foot. Keep the heel and the big toe connected to the floor.
And this is our fourth circuit. You're going to begin with your plank bird dog. So progressing that plank all the way through the last way, you're going to get into your full plank position, alternating arm, leg reaches, a lot of stabilization in that core, making sure the pelvis is nice and level as well as the shoulders. 10 each side here. Now coming into your hip bridge, our final progression with that hip bridge. Just as you're getting tired, make sure you're still engaging the core every time you get into a motion. Bridge up completely, and we are going to do a full long leg lift. You're going to start with that leg at knee height, raise till that heel goes to the ceiling, not letting that hip drop, and a good, nice, stable pelvis there as well. Coming up to our last wall sit, this one is going to be with a knee extension. So the upper body is going to stay still this time. Getting into position, good alignment here, and you're going to just alternate leg extension for that knee lift. A lot of focus in keeping that pelvic stable position in this wall sit, lifting and lowering that leg 10 each side. And last exercise of the circuit is our pistol squat heel slide. Our man behind the camera, Randy Leopando, is an expert at this. You'll get to see him later, so make sure you tune into that. You're going to bring that heel slide forward. This is going to be a great exercise because not only is it working that quad on that stable leg, but as you're sliding and bringing that heel back, getting that hamstring and glute involved as well. Of course, keeping those the pelvis nice and stable, not letting that hip dip as you're moving out. 10 each side here. Nutrition to boost your immune system is very important to making sure you're coming from the preventative side. Power foods are something that are talked about often. You still want to make sure you're getting in your variety of all of these nutrients, but yogurt, of course, has a high probiotic. That gut immunity is huge to that health. We've talked about that in a previous month as well. Fish, of course, getting in those good heart-healthy fatty acids, your omega-3s. Chicken soup, mom or grandma's famous old chicken soup. There is a lot of good research coming from that. Your amino acids delivered through it, as well as that broth getting you good liquids. Your teas, and this can be everything from your fabulous antioxidant-rich green tea all the way to your black, oolong, and white teas. Vitamins E and C, A and C, focusing on those prevention pieces. I know vitamin C gets a big, huge rap with trying to make colds go away. What most of that research shows is it actually just lightens the duration of it. Be careful with over-consuming high doses of vitamin C because that can actually cause some toxicity levels in pieces. Not something to be too scared of. It's not a fat-soluble vitamin, but just be cautionary to not overload on that vitamin C. Your vitamin E, believe it or not, one of your fat-soluble vitamins, is actually very helpful with your nutrients for immune boosting. And last but not least is our zinc, which does have a lot of benefit for that as well. Just wanting to make sure we're getting that prevention state going into fall. Kids are back in school, of course, doing your washing your hands, not touching your face, but thinking about those foods that we can take in that are going to help prevent us from getting sick heading into this flu season.
So we hope you enjoyed this month's immunity boosting workout and nutrition tips. And that workout, even though it's corrective exercise, it is very challenging to go through all of those 4 circuits. Some of the exercises do include some flexibility, but it's really important to stretch. Stretching is key to keeping your body healthy and injury-free. We do have a previous video that shows a cool down and a stretch series that you can refer back to if you need some ideas for stretching.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and stay tuned for next month.